Traders, it's time to do more swinging than Hugh Hefner in his prime.
Hi, Larry David.
You have.
It's time for the weekly forecast. Welcome to Simply Forex. If you want to improve as a trader, then you're definitely in the right place. Each week, I'm going to give you easy to follow trade ideas, tips, and advice so you too can succeed at trading. And if you stay till the end of the vid, guys, I'm going to give you all of my swing trades for this week and just share everything I'm looking at. So let's do it. Let's get started. And if you like what you hear, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash that like button, guys. Merci beaucoup. Shukran. Gracias. Right, let's get swinging. So let's start with the yen pairs. And I think the yen pairs have more room to move into, as in we have more yen strength to come. And if you think about the yen, guys, the yen is the only country that's raising interest rates, right? All the other countries are, lowering interest rates. So must bear that in mind. And that's the catalyst of a lot of yen strength. But let's start with euro yen. Okay. And as you can see on the weekly chart, and obviously, guys, we're going to look at the weekly chart because we're looking at swing trades, right? So we're looking at the higher time frames. And this is what I'm seeing with structure. Okay, so for me, we are getting lower lows. We're in a downtrend, all right? And like I say, I think we still just have a little bit more room to move into, right? Potentially back down to this 156 on euro yen. But I'm talking about all yen pairs generally. We'll take a look at one other example as well. And if you look at the candles, guys, yeah, big bearish candle, and we had a bit of a bounce off, but this is more of a doji, right? So this would suggest sellers are still in control, buyers have not taken control of this market, and like I say, we still have room to move into. All right, so euro yen down to this 156 would be the target. Let's have a look at CAD yen. Yeah. I've written down euro yen, Swiss franc yen, Canadian dollar yen, and Aussie dollar yen. They're all the ones that I like, guys. They've got a bit more room to move into. And just look at CAD yen, right? Again, if we follow structure on the weekly, we are clearly in a downtrend, right? We're now getting lower lows. And, this is even more attractive than euro yen because look at last week's candle as well, right? That's bearish. Okay, and we've got bearish candle, and as you can see, we've got this room to move into back down to 105. And I'm just heading, aiming for psychological numbers, guys, like 105. All right, so yeah, back down to this level for CAD yen. So like I say, guys, yen strength still has more room to move into. Let's take a look at gold and silver now. You are gold. Let's start with gold. I always feel compelled to sing that song when I look at gold. So gold. Weekly, we're in this uptrend, right? We are. You could consider this a level, but it's a little bit discretionary, right? You could say this, guys. Right, and we're in a weekly downtrend, right? Or you could say this and say that low isn't significant enough and we're in a weekly uptrend. Either way, we're at the moving average 20, right? And that suggests if we're above the moving average 20, we can still look for buys, right? And look at the reaction we got at the moving average 20. Kapow, right? It doesn't get much more bullish than that. That is more bullish than Bully the Bullseye. That's an old UK TV program. Check it out with, what's his name? Can't remember. Anyway, big bullish weekly candle. And then these last weeks, they're not super bullish candles, right? I'm aware of that. They're red. But look at the bottom wicks, right? There's still some rejection here. And if we look, we need to go down to the day chart to understand gold a bit better. And what I will do, I will box this consolidation. right? There's just this consolidation here. And price just doesn't know what to do with itself, right? It's just choppy, awful, crappy, poopy, awful price action. And all I'm going to wait for, guys, remember, because of the weekly chart, my bias is to buy this. And I will just wait for the market to tell me, okay? And if we get a big candle that pops out of this level like this, bit wonky, bit leaning Tower of Pisa candle. But if we get this candle, right, that pops out of this consolidation, I will be buying gold. You know, potentially back up to here, if not, definitely back up to this high here. All right, so gold, if that happens, I will be looking to buy. And also silver. And when I look at silver, I have to go, ha-ha, because pirates deal in silver. It's a fact. Right, and if we start with the weekly chart, because these are swing trades, guys, we're looking at the weekly chart. This is still a buy, right? If we look at the weekly chart, this is what we're seeing. There's the structure of the market so far, getting higher lows. These lows through here are holding. This is a key support level, and we're getting higher highs, right? Now, all I'm waiting for, we need to go down to the day chart again for this one. Now, this is in an uptrend already. You could trade this two ways, right? There's a a more aggressive way and a less aggressive way. That's the best way to put it, right? So if we just follow price action, right, we are in an uptrend, right? So if price comes down to this area of support here, right, you could start buying from in here, potentially back up to here, right? That's more aggressive. The less aggressive way would be a wait for a break of this. So we get a bullish candle, breaks through here, okay, get a bit of a retrace, and then we can start buying. But both are viable, right? So that's how we would trade silver. There's more, guys. There's so many more. I've got a really interesting chart to show you how we can compare US dollar, Swiss franc, and US dollar yen as well. But we'll do that later, guys. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. This is another swing trade for this week. Where are ye? And guys, while I'm at it, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. But also, please come join our trading community if you haven't already, right? We've got a trading community full of traders sharing knowledge, ideas. You can have a chit chat. You know, trading can be quite a lonely place. So please join our free Discord channel. It's free. Just join and verify yourself. That's it. Right, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. As you can see, right, we have just broken these lows here, and therefore this has become a weekly downtrend. Okay, we was in an uptrend, and then kapow, in the words of Batman, this low, the body of that candle has broken all of these lows in here. Right, we are now in a weekly downtrend. And also, guys, just look at the monthly. Pretty much Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar ranges from here to here, right? It goes up, hits that level, comes down, up, and looking like we can come back down to the bottom of the range. And also, just looking at the monthly chart, look at those two candles combined. That is pretty bearish. Okay, back to the weekly chart. That would simply be the idea, right? Just to come back down to the bottom of that range, and this 1.0800 psychological level would be the target. So Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar sells. I'm still looking at pound Swiss franc buys, but again, something would need to happen on the daily chart. This is the weekly chart, and I still really like it. Right, we're in this weekly chart, and now we're in this range, right? It's ranging, okay? And we're still at the bottom of the range, right? And the idea is to come to the top of the range. And my target hasn't changed, right? I've had this target there for 12 years. Little exaggeration. Because what I'm waiting for, guys, and what hasn't happened is a daily structure break here. If we look at the day chart, there's this level through here that just keeps holding, right? This has become a very important level for pound Swiss franc, right? Because this is keeping it in a downtrend. Keeps hitting it, keeps hitting it, keeps hitting it, and it just won't break it. But if we get a candle, right, that breaks through here, it would need to break these highs as well, right? So a candle looks something like this, right? And then we can start buying back up to the top of that weekly range. All right, so pound Swiss franc buys. Bear with me, guys. I've got a throat like I've been gargling razor blades. And don't gargle razor blades at home. It's very bad for you. What else am I looking at? New Zealand CAD. Also, guys, let's take a quick look at New Zealand CAD. Let's start with the weekly chart. Let's do my recentering button. Here we go. Yeah, and it's still in this this trend line, guys. Right? My God, look at those lines I'm drawing. I have been drinking. All right, but it's still in this higher time frame trend lines, right? Okay, this channel. All right, so bearing that in mind, right, if we go down to the weekly chart, if we just zoom in, and you can see, guys, like we are in a weekly downtrend, right? We are. But we've got this support level through here. Excuse my big head in the way. We've got this support level in here. We've got this trend line here as well. And just look at the reaction we're getting, right? These last two candles, that is crazy bullish. And that is pretty bullish as well, because the bottom wick is far larger than the top wick. So that is telling me buyers are pushing this, okay? Now, all I'd be waiting for, guys, on the day chart is a break of this level, because this level for me is holding, right? And if we end up getting a bullish candle, breaks through this level, right, I will be looking to take price. I mean, this would be the weekly swing trade price, but I might take price up to some highs in here, maybe this 8,400, and then let some profit run. All right, so New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar buys. And just one more thing I wanted to show you guys is this US dollar Swiss franc versus US dollar yen chart, right? Because if we look at US dollar yen, right, and we look at the weekly chart, okay, now quick glance, you'll be seeing this, right? Now, if I show you the US dollar Swiss franc chart, you'll be saying, Tom, that's pretty identical, right? And I would say, no, you're wrong, Tom. They're not identical. So let me just show you this, because US dollar Swiss franc is an attractive trade to me, right? I think this potentially has room back up to here. Okay, and we're going to compare US dollar Swiss franc with US dollar yen. Now, again, if we follow weekly structure, this is clearly in an uptrend, right? And it's retraced to this area of support here. And we've had a bit of a reaction, not a super duper bullish reaction, but we've had a bit of a reaction, right? But, you know, I still think we could take price back up to these highs, right, on US dollar Swiss franc. And also, guys, let me show you the monthly chart. Okay, you know, there's no big bearish candles in here. Okay, and you know, if we really zoom out, we're in this, you know, we're in this range, right, which would maybe suggest we could even come up to here, right? So monthly, nothing telling me that my buy idea isn't a good idea. Okay, now if we go to US dollar yen, and we're going to do the same with the weekly. Now this is different, right? I know it looks, at first glance, it looks very similar, right? And this is in an uptrend, but just this little level here makes a bit of a difference for me, right? I think that is a considerable enough low to be broken. and therefore we're in a downtrend, whereas US dollar Swiss franc was in an uptrend. So you need to be careful of these little intricacies and pinpointing these highs and lows on the chart. So this is potentially a, sell trade, right? And then if we look at the monthly chart, right, we didn't see this candle on US dollar Swiss franc, did we? Right? Not at all. All right, and that's suggesting we can at least come back down to these lows. So I just wanted to finish with that, guys, just to show you, if what looks quite similar at first glance, if you delve a little bit deeper, look at multiple time frames, you'll get more data, and then you'll realize that one trade is very different from the other, right? It's really important that you do that, guys. And also, guys, if you've enjoyed the weekly forecast, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please come join us for the live streams on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 a.m. New York EST time. Have a great trading week. Adios.